CLOV, potential Reddit short squeeze? I can tell you it's not going to be like GME, and here's why. I have to do a position disclosure. I do have a position in CLOV currently. I took it on Friday, just a little after the news was kind of slowly coming out. And this isn't something I see long term. I don't see them as a long term in my portfolio. I like the idea of what they have, but I don't know too much about the healthcare sector. And it's something I'm kind of trying to look into currently. But as far as I can tell, this is what I found so far, based on what I've read and seen on this, is that it says that if you hit that big red subscribe button, leave a like, and leave a comment, it should lead you to be a little bit more informed by the end of this video, which you should probably stay to the end too as well. I know. I'm not sorry, but trying to grow the channel, and if you guys can help me out, I can stop having to live in people's heads rent free all the time. We could actually find stuff that we both agree on, and it just helps everybody out overall. So to start, the first thing I always do is I look at what's the interesting thing about this particular stock. And the first interesting thing about Clover is that it's being backed by a man named Chamath Pala Pala Palahaptia Pala. 1 second.
Chamath Palahapitiya.
Yeah, this guy right here. Now, typically I would run through the 10K, but that usually only applies to stuff that I see myself holding for like several months, probably even to a year plus or stuff like that. You guys can read their 10K all you want. I just took some like quick notes from it, and some of the things I found were basically Clover is a software platform with something called the Clover Assistant to assist primary care physicians and seniors with preferred provider organization health maintenance uh, organizations, so HMOs for the Medicare. Their goal is to provide cheaper drug costs and deductibles, as well as have data-driven recommendations for their physicians on the physician side. Now, I'm wondering if this is also suggests like drug alts that could be cheaper or anything like that, but whatever. So this was a SPAC, and it went reverse mergered on April 24th, 2020. That's when they merged with Social Capital Hito Sophia Holdings, which was a Cayman Island corporation, and their goal was to target Medicare clients. And they're saying that there are currently 60 million, or sorry, not currently, but there are 60 million clients enrolled in 2020. And there's going to be a $1 trillion in total expenditure by 2025. And that's a big piece of the pie that they're targeting. Now, what the Clover Assistant is it's, as far as I read, I only read the surface level stuff, right? Like if you guys really believe in this company and you guys want to do some more deeper research, I have very little interest in this type of healthcare stuff. I think it's cool, but it's not me right now. Um, they are the Clover Assistant for the physician side was, as they state, is a tech to assist the doctors with more personalized care. It seems like they take all the data from the diagnosis and stuff like that they get, and they have a machine learning AI algorithm that kind of like aggregates all that data and sees whether if you are being affected by this or being affected by that, and then they can recommend different types of treatment plans and or possible solutions. It's kind of like essentially a more they're trying to build like a more accurate WebMD. And also, from what I've seen, they say that the reason why their business model will work is because the patient, will pay a flat rate to the doctor who are in this type of program, in the Clover Assist program and stuff. You're basically going to pay a flat rate, which the doctor will get almost immediately, which is faster than them filing a claim to Medicare and having to wait and stuff like that, and doing it per prognosis. There's a lot of paperwork in between, from what I understand, right? So now the question is, why is everybody so hyped on it now? Why not before? The answer to that is unfortunately not that simple. Now, it's mostly having to do with this. S3 partners this week said that Clover Health has a high short percent of the float, about 145%. Now, it's between 140 and 150, whatever, right? GameStop's was only about like 130 or something like that, 140 maybe. And what this kind of infers, it doesn't confirm, but what it infers is that we could see a huge short squeeze on this thing. And I know that there's a lot of speculation talking about like how, oh, this could be the next GME and stuff like that. I don't think that's entirely accurate, but there are some underlying concerns that I kind of want to point out here. And first, having to do with that, I know people don't like this place, but Hindenburg released a short report saying that the data that they grabbed was inaccurate, and you'll see that right here. For those of you guys who don't know who Hindenburg are, they are part of the Wolf Pack, I guess, short pack with Carson Block, who owns Muddy Waters and stuff like that. They're a little new to the game, and I felt that they kind of dogpiled onto Nikola when it was already a sinking ship, when all the evidence was already there. They weren't essentially first to the claim. And that to me doesn't give it full credence, and there's they have yet to be tested. That's all I'm saying. But they're alleging that the premise of the short squeeze in CLOV is appears to be a data error, and it says that it looks like FactSet erroneously removed CEO Vivek Garipalli's Class B shares from Class A float calculations. And let's look at that right now. So as we could see Vivek's shares over there, and this is their filing, their 10K filing. And it says that they removed it from Class A to Class B and so forth, whatever, right? Like I said in the beginning, I'm not going to go through the full filing, but this is something interesting I came across that people are claiming right now. But they're saying that for Vivek, he won't get his shares to sell until CLOV actually hits above $30, and it has to stay above there for 90 days. Otherwise, he won't be able to actually sell any of his shares. So this is just a thing I came across. I can't confirm or deny it, and I'm not going to claim it's true or not. That's up to you for you guys to decide. I don't see a long-term play in this thing. Again, up to you. Companies can fail in between, and that's all I'm going to say on the subject. So I found this absolutely hilarious because if you look at the time of the tweet, they tweeted this out at 3:18 on April 16, 2021, right? And if you go over to S3, S3 responded to them like less than 20 minutes later saying that S3 uses FactSet to supply float data for our algorithms. FactSet CLOV float is 26 million shares and categorizes CEOs 83 million shares as non-tradable and not in the float number. S3 shares shorted is 39 million. The result is short interest float is 148.94%, and S3 SI float is 59.83%. All right, so onward to the S3 partner website, and right out the gates, they say that they're a data-powered company. They have a lot of tools and suites and applications, as we could see: Blacklight, Black App Pro, S3 Data, Counterparty Risk, Solutions, etc., etc. This is all boilerplate stuff, but they're saying their official technology and data partners are Bloomberg, NASDAQ, Refinitiv, Citico, AWS, which collects a huge ton of data, FactSet, Snowflake, and so forth. The more data sources they have, the better, because then they can get more accurate data. Now, again, this is something I'm going to say for all data companies, is that it's not hard to get a partnership with Bloomberg or NASDAQ. It's literally just the fee you pay. That's it. And have those working relationships is cool. It's a great selling point. But if you know that fact that it's just, they just pay a fee for that data, it kind of ruins the illusion, right? Like I said before, it's up to you, and the onus falls upon you whether you find this data that they're releasing to be credible or not. So my final thoughts on the subject of, is CLOV potentially a Reddit short squeeze? And my answer, my opinion, is that I don't think it's going to be like GME. And there's a whole slew of reasons, mostly having to do with mainstream coverage. GME had a ton of mainstream coverage. Everybody was talking about it. No one's really talking about CLOV. And I know this is at its infancy stage and everything, but there's a lot of suppression going on, mostly having to do with the SEC cracking down on these social groups and stuff like that, right? And on top of that, I personally don't like SPACs. I've yet to see a SPAC turn out very well. Sure, you guys can make the argument that you bought it at 10 and then you sold at 30, whatever, right? But so far, I haven't seen any sort of long-term quality out of it, and it seems like just a short phase, right? And I get a lot of the whole, well, you're a TA trader, shouldn't you like this? Or you're an FA trader, shouldn't you like this, right? And you'd be right and wrong. I do like it, and I might be a TA trader, I might be an FA trader, but I see myself as more of a market mechanics trader. And what that is basically, if you can find, trading has a lot of rules. The trading world, the finance world, they have a lot of rules, right? And if you guys can find a way to essentially work within those rules, Obviously you have to follow the law and everything. Always follow the law. Follow the law and understand those rules. But once you are able to understand those rules and laws, you are able to basically creatively work around them or use them to your advantage. I might make a video in the future talking about future market mechanics and how they're being exploited currently. I mean, it's not illegal because they're actually working within the confines of the law, which is absolutely hilarious because this is the weird thing about like having so much regulation that they have to do something even if it's at a cost to themselves and so forth, right? And other people can benefit from that. But that's for probably like a future project. I don't know if I'll ever get around to it. Just it depends whether I actually get any comments, like subscriptions or stuff like that, to the point where I don't have to keep reviewing stocks like this, and I can actually review some of the market mechanics side too. But yeah, I mean, that's all I have to say on the subject. I'm playing this for my own personal reasons. You guys should make your own decisions on why you guys are playing CLOV. I don't see a long term in this. I'm probably going to play in the short term, but just remember though, just because you're a day trader doesn't mean you have to trade every single day.